Welcome, everyone. I'm Laurel Peltier, and I am a curriculum and instruction specialist for the Collaborative for Educational Services. And I'm here talking today with a professional colleague about transition planning and services and the IEP team. Jill, do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, I wasn't sure if I had to do that whole piece. Hi, everyone. I'm Jill Curry. I'm the transition coordinator with Newton Public Schools, and I'm excited to talk a little bit more about transition today and how we can best support students, families, and staff to feel really effective and come up with great transition planning.
Excellent. Oh, that's great. So my first question for you, Jill, is what are transition services? And what are 3 strategies that you think IEP teams can implement in order to plan well for the transition from school to adult life?
Sure. Transition services are a coordinated set of activities, and that's the language from our federal legislation, IDEA. What those coordinated set of activities look like is going to be different for every student, but for every student, we need to take into account that student's interests, their preference, their needs, and their strengths when we're thinking about what is it that the student wants to do after they leave high school. So transition services are really designed to help a student make progress towards post-secondary goals, which is basically the student's vision statement. So when we think about transition services, we think really holistically about what it means to transition out of high school. So under IDEA, transition services and transition planning must start no later than age 16. But in Massachusetts, the state legislation says no later than 14. Right. So we're looking at transition a little bit earlier than what IDEA mandates, which is great because a lot of these conversations are naturally happening by age 14 anyway. And Right. This way we get a little bit of a jump start on documenting it. In Massachusetts, the vehicle that we use a lot for transition planning is the transition planning form, and that's a state document. That isn't a document that's used in other states, but it's our approach to really capture everything teams are doing to really discuss transition. The transition planning form has a few different parts. It has really, most importantly, the student's post-secondary vision, what the student wants to do after they leave high school. So starting no later than age 14, we need to have the student's voice as part of the meeting and identify what it is that they want to do either educationally or training-wise after they leave high school. So it could be going to college, or it could be learning a specific trade, working in a certain environment, and what training they would need to do that. The transition planning form also includes a post-secondary goal on employment. So what are the students' career interests? And typically we also include a post-secondary goal around independent living. And in IDEA, the third part, that independent living part, is really up to the discretion of the team. Does the student need a post-secondary goal in that area? My advice is to always include it because it's something that is going to naturally come up as part of that discussion. And it's nice to document what the student, regardless if the team feels the student needs discrete, really specific instruction in independent living skills, it's good to know what the student is thinking. Do they want to live on campus at a college? Do they want to live in their community with friends? Do they think they would need support living independently? So I always really encourage teens to include post-secondary goals in all 3 of those areas. The other parts of the transition planning form are the disability-related needs. So what is it the student needs due to their disability to make progress towards those goals? And then an action plan, and that's where the most collaboration comes up. What are we going to do to make sure the student is making progress towards those goals during this school year? And it kind of loops right back to IDEA, because when IDEA defines transition services, they want to make sure it's happening within a results-oriented process. And that action plan provides the steps to make sure we're always moving forward. We always have progress throughout this process.